Floyd Mayweather, Las Vegas. The devil is in the details. Embedded Confessions, Part 3. By Michael Israel. Real TV. Silence is betrayal. If you know the truth and don't say the truth, then the blood is on your hands. So I pass this baton to you that you may give someone else a better insight of what's going on. In this film today, we're going to cover a number of different things that relates to the title at hand. It may seem like we're going to the left field, but we're not. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. This scripture is very clear. Romans chapter 1, verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. And then as you go on to read the rest of the verse, you'll understand these sins that are spoken about. So when we dealing with this, we have to understand what a reprobate mind means. We have to understand what the Most High is talking about. So reprobate means a depraved or unprincipled or wicked person. A person rejected by the Most High and beyond hope of salvation. Beyond hope of salvation. Meaning that they can't be saved. Their mind is so gone that they're just gone. They're lost. They're done for. Here's some other terms. To disapprove, condemn, or censor. The Most High to reject a person. As for sin, exclude from the number of the elect or from salvation. So we have it in this modern time that people are so far gone that it's just sad. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11 through 12. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, and that all might be damned who believeth not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So one little word that we have to understand here is strong. When he's talking about strong, you best believe it's going to be strong. If he can create marijuana, crack, coke, alcohol, and we could get drunk or high, you can imagine if a delusion is strong, it's going to be strong. It's so strong that the greatest miracle that the Most High can do is to get someone that is evil saved. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
She went on to say something in reference to Freemasons.
She did.
With the case of those shaken shakes.
this evil Masonic world, you can't have something for nothing. We know that at least 59 people were confirmed dead, maybe a little more. In the beginning of this film, you saw a little extra money left over. That was your leftover people. $59,000 equals 59 people dead. 5 plus 9 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. It was on the 32nd floor. 3 plus 2 is 5. You had the 5-pointed demonic star. All of this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. They know what they're doing. So one might ask themselves, okay, well, what's up with the windows though? Like, why are there 2 windows knocked out? Does that mean anything? Yes. Yes, you're right. Now you're thinking. It does. It has to do with the pillars, the 2 pillars. And boy, I don't want to get too deep. But notice the sickle to the right pillar. And did you notice the casket did not several people get killed and injured? And the story goes on. The same thing happened with the Twin Towers. 2 pillars, 2 towers. When we analyze the situation, Floyd was born February 24th. He's 40 years old. That's 64, right? So 64 is the same age as the gunman, right? Stephen Paddock died at 64 years old, quote unquote. But did you catch that though? Do you notice how the article says lone gunman? In any other situation, they would call this act an act of terror or terrorism. But anyway. So again, when you take his birthday in consideration and you take Stephen Paddock's birthday in consideration and you want to find out the amount of days in between their birthday, what you'll come to find out is that there's 8,722 days in between the time they were born from each other. So when we take that number and add it up, you get 19. You flip it around, 91 harvest. Right now, Route 91 harvest. It is what it is, right? They know what they're doing. In the satanic world, they flip stuff around. This logo is the Jewish star. You see? But it's not the star you think it is. It is the star of Satan. It is the star of the devil, the serpent, whatever you want to call him. Lucifer, whatever you want to call him. That's what it is. There's no way around it. There's no way under it. It is what it is. There's many religions across the world who think this is the real star. It is not some star of it. It doesn't have anything to do with the word from the Holy Word. There's no scripture that says you need to use this star as a symbol. Let's go. Acts chapter 7, verse 43. Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god, Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them. And I will carry you away beyond Babylon. So, this is the only scripture that you can find about star worship. Okay? So there you go. Oh yeah, and by the way, when you look up the word Remphan, when you look it up, it relates to the word Ramadan, which also relates to the word Ramadan, which the Muslims use. Just a little side tip. They wear the same star. They have it in all their cathedrals, a lot of synagogues of the world. They also use this star also, as you can see. It's deeper than what you think it really is, but we're going to deal with it. Here's a symbology of Moloch and the same star. That same star is evil, and that's what it is. They have it on the synagogues and is pure evil. You have a six-pointed star that has 6 mini triangles surrounding. 6-sided hexagon, 60 degrees. 666. There you go. It's a satanic hexagram. That's exactly what it is. Again, how can you have one star that represents so many different things? It doesn't represent many things. It's one thing that's being represented in many different ways. That's all it is. It's on the back of that dollar bill, and as you can see what it spells out. Potato, patata. You can flip it any way, and you still have the same thing. 6-pointed star, 5-point star. It all correlates. 6 points, 6 triangles, 6-sided polygon. So you like, Michael, where are you going? Where you going with this? Just take your time and understand, okay? A cube has 8 different sides, right? In what month did this happen? This whole event happened. It happened in October. October means octo, 8, octo. Again, you could fit this cube, this 8-sided cube, inside of this wicked satanic star. All right? So, not only can you do that, but you can fit this same 6-pointed wicked star inside of the cube. Either way you flip it. This same star correlates again with the Masonic compass and their evil agenda. You can take this same cube and understand that it is completely wicked when you see these fake Jews wearing it on their heads. Not just that, but they worship a box. Just like people worship Xbox, GameCube, the same box relates to the movie Hellraiser. In this crazy movie Hellraiser, it was all about a black box. The same black box is what you get when you graduate after learning the evil lies of the world. The same box is all around the world, from being in Santana, Manhattan, Australia, Denmark. Again, it's everywhere. And the representation is clear. Well, where is it from? It has to do with Saturn. How so? You're like, what does it have to do with Saturn? Well, the North Pole of Saturn looks just like the 6-pointed pentagram that we discussed. You can fit that same box within the 6-pointed pentagram, right? So that's where it comes from. Well, you'll be like, okay, this does not make any sense. What does Saturn have to do with it? Well, Saturn, Cronus, is the god of Saturn in Greek mythology, the father time, and he has a sickle. Well, that same sickle represents who? The Grim Reaper, right? Who's dressed in what? All black. Cronus, the father of time, dressed in all black. Lucifer, Satan, whatever you want to call it. Judges dress in all black. All right? You have pastors who dress in all black robes. Not only that, but Dracula dresses in an all black robe. Right? When you graduate from school, you dress in what? An all black robe. You see where I'm going? Not only do they wear robes, but even Satanists wear black robes. Witches wear black robes. Not just witches, but sororities wear black robes during their probate and things of the such. And when they do grand rituals, robes are worn there also. So we're going to deal with the correlation again. It all pertains to Cronus, the devil, Satan, Lucifer, Moloch, right? The Greeks and the Romans also worship Saturn as a cruel deity. Here's a brief summary of the mythology of Saturn in the Western world. With the disposing of his father, Saturn became the ruler of the universe for untold ages, and he reigned with his sister, Ops, who also became his wife. It was prophesied that one day Saturn would lose power. But that's here nor there. So we're going to cut that Greek mythology legend short. This same Saturn correlation deals with the Nike sign. So you're like, Michael, hold on. Michael, what are you talking about? I'm talking about this weird picture. That's what I'm talking about. This weird picture that everybody saw and that no one, I guess, can understand for some reason. We know that in the front of this vehicle, there's somebody wearing a pair of Nikes and there's somebody wearing a pair of Jordans, the cool gray Jordans, right? A pair of Nikes that relates to Saturn, and then you have a pair of Jordans that represents the Chicago Bulls, which correlates to Moloch. Same bull, same deity, and they put these here for a reason. Now you may ask, okay, well, about this license plate, does the license plate have anything to do with it, or does it mean anything? Yes, it does. But what we should point out first is the type of car. It's a Ford F-150 4x4, right? 4 plus 4 is 8. You could say 4 times 4, you get 16, but 16 divided by 2 is still 8, right? So let's go to the license plate. 35H. I don't know if this is a 040 or D40. So I'll just stick with the front part, right? 3 plus 5 is 8. And H is the 8th letter in the alphabet. So you have a 4x4, then you have 3 plus 5, which is 8, and then the letter H, which is the 8th letter in the alphabet, that's 8, 8, 8. 3 8s. Well, what is the meaning of that? This message is really important for you to understand. And if you don't know the meaning of 888, we're about to reveal to you 4 possible reasons why you are seeing 888 in your life at this time. Number 1, a phase in your life comes to an end. Interesting. Now, before you jump into conclusions and make any negative assumptions, understand that change is the only constant of existence. Whenever something comes to an end, 91 harvest, something new emerges, and this is called evolution. Number 2, your harvest is ripe. What harvest are they talking about, though? Number 3, be ready for progress. 4, get ready for financial abundance. There's so many campaigns. There's so many fundraisers for money, for donations. And we know that there was a large music lineup for this show, but all they're talking about is Jason Aldean. Yet there were like 20 different singers that took the stage that day. But they're talking about one person. Jason Aldean and the Performers. Jason Aldean and the Temptations. Jason Aldean and the band. Why are they talking about one person? We have to sit back and ask ourselves why. So, there's a reason behind it. And the reason has a lot to do with his tattoo and a song that he has that is called Tattoos. So, my thing was, when did he get the tattoo that is so controversial? So I was plucking through dates, and the earliest that I could find was in the year of 2011 that he didn't have this tattoo. But we'll come back to this a little bit later. So he has a song and he has an interview that talks about how he has the tattoo on his shoulder, this buck and everything. There's even a show on Duck Dynasty about it. But he doesn't talk about this tattoo right here. He's not talking about this jack and this ace. So what we do know is that What is mentioned is that the jack and ace has somewhat or something to do with the sun that is on his arm. And we know that the sun correlates to Helios or Apollos, which correlates to Lucifer, Satan, the morning star. Again, once you do all the research on your own, you'll know what's what. But it doesn't take a rocket science to put two and two together. So that's that. Moving right along, the value of the cards is this. The number cards count as their natural value. The jack, the queen, the king, also known as face cards or pictures, count as 10. Aces are valued as either 1 or 11, according to the player's choice. But for this scenario, we're going to count the ace as 1. So you have 10-1, the jack for 10, the ace is 1. That's October 1st. You could flip it the other way too. A is the first letter in the alphabet. The letter J is the 10th letter in the alphabet. So either way you flip it is October 1st. This tattoo is what's on his arm. He can make a song about tattoos. He can have a show about the buck that is on his shoulder on Duck Dynasty. He could talk about the other one that he has on his arm for his daughter Keely. But for some reason, he's not talking about this jack and this ace, when he got it, and what it means. But it's all right, though, because we know what it means. Okay, as we analyze the lyrics, or a portion of some of the lyrics from his song Tattoo, we'll read the following. Take a ride, look around, there ain't no doubt. Now, what I want you to keep in mind before we go on is the situation that happened. And then think about the lyrics and see how odd it is. Take a ride, look around, and there ain't no doubt. It sure left its mark on us. We sure left our mark on it. We let the world know we were here. With everything we did, we laid a lot of memories down, like tattoos on this town. End quote. Coming from Jason Aldean. Now, I don't know too much about this singer, if he write his own lyrics or if he has a ghostwriter. Either way, this song was popularized for a reason, and they used him as a pawn for their agenda. And the saddest part is that it's sad. It's very sad. And we just have to understand what's really going on here. Again, his song is called Tattoo. But the fact of the matter is, he didn't have this popular tattoo in 2011. When we analyze a little bit further, he didn't have this tattoo in 2013. So maybe he had this tattoo as a rite of passage at a certain point. Maybe he didn't sign that blood contract when he first started out, right? So again, he didn't have it in 2013, so we could scratch that. 2011, 2012, so anytime before this, he didn't have it, right? We can clearly see it. But why wasn't there an interview about it? Am I missing something here? He has a song about tattoos. He did a TV show on it, on Duck Dynasty. Like, what's really going on, you know? So, again, this is a 2013 to 2014 calendar. As you can see on his arm, there's nothing there, with no cards, no jack, no ace, no peach, no microphone. So we could scratch out 2013, right? So when did he have it? Well, as we notice here from 2015, there's several photos that indicate he could have possibly had it at the end of 2014, or most likely, as we can see here, 2015. So we can't say that, or we know that he didn't just get this because of the victims that were harmed. So we got to scratch that. And we can't say that it's a coincidence because we can scratch that. We know that's not the truth. See how crazy this is? You see how the devil works? So there's no coincidence. There's 100% no coincidence that this is done. Again, they're talking about tattoos. These Route 91 Harvest Survivor tattoos are so beautiful. They're talking about all the tattoos in the world except this new one that's on his arm. Now there's a big trend that's going on around the world and in parts of that area on the west with a Route 91 Harvest tattoo. Why? Why?
Right now, Mike Kronk, who was at the concert when the shooting broke out. Mike, just a horrifying scene right there. Tell us what you went through.
It was very horrifying. At first, it sounded like fireworks, and then my buddy that was standing right next.
Listen, I don't know if y'all peep game though. The whole time, Buddy is looking to the right. Though he's on our left, but for the way of the camera angle, when you flip it, he's looking to the right. Why is he looking to the right as if he's reading something from a teleprompter? The entire film. Like, there's no if, no and, no buts about it, right? He's looking to the right continuously. Well, let's analyze that. Let's analyze why he's looking to the right. Body language doesn't lie. And the eyes are the windows to the soul, so the eyes can't lie. You could try to make them lie, but they don't lie. So let's analyze the science behind this. There's many topics and many sources you can find on your own, but let's just deal with this one for now. Eye direction. There are a number of studies that talk about the direction of eyes during lies, typically when people look up and to their right. They are lying or tapping into their imagination. When they look up to the left, they are remembering something or recalling something. Now, there's a possible connection here. There's a guy named Dan Bilzerian, or Bilzerian, however you pronounce that. Anyway, he's a public figure on Instagram. I'm not sure if this guy in the news clip was him, but he's very, very similar to him. My thing is, he has a lot of photos with Floyd Mayweather. They have a lot of them together. But the question is, why are they together? Are they good friends? Are they doing business together? Could this guy Dan possibly be one of the crisis actors? It's just a lot of fishy things going on, but you can't have something for nothing in this world, in this demonic world. Satan is not just going to let you just live your life. Michael Jordan had to sacrifice his dad in order to get what he had. Now they're making fun of him. Not only are they making fun of him, but he's a Q. He even joined the team. He even joined this campaign of wickedness and deception for greatness. He's part of an HBCU fraternity group that promotes all black people, that promotes, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just all for the people. Now, to each their own. To each their own. And they say love is love, right? But you're repping this fraternity, yet you're dating outside your race. You're giving everything that you work for, your empire, to another culture. It's more than race. It's culture to culture. But lo and behold, again, he's a part of it too. It's a Masonic handshake. Shaq was also a Q. He also joined the campaign. Him and Jordan were actually frat brothers. And Shaq went through his same ritual of humiliation. They laughed at Jordan, and we laughing at Shaq. Shaq has fetishes that are just unheard of. Going down on women on their menstrual cycle. And he is also affiliated with the elite. So either way you flip it, Satan wants your soul, period. When you sell your soul, that's exactly what it is. In exchange for that, you get temporary gain in this temporary world for anything that your heart desires, whether it be women, money, cars, trips, good food, etc. They made Floyd Mayweather come out of retirement all to do a fight. They made Michael Jordan come out of a retirement all to make more money. One of the greatest NBA players of all time, and he's not even co-CEO of the NBA. But they give them a golden apple. And as you can see in this picture, it's an elephant with evil wings. And they do evil, like the horns in the picture. Mayweather has given Las Vegas so much money that he probably doesn't know how much money he gave them. Mayweather had some allegations a years back. And in this video, you can see the link below. But there's no record of what happened. There's no details, nothing. Not to mention that they sweep that under the rug, but he has given Vegas over $1 billion in money. Right? He went through his humiliation ritual all for monetary gain. They let him win. I'm not saying he wasn't good, but they let him get to the top. Satan let him get to the top, but you can't make a deal with Satan thinking that it's going to be fair. Mark chapter 8. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? There's so many celebrities, from rappers to country musicians to Food Network shows, you name it. They're giving up their soul for gain in this world. And with that gain comes a sacrifice. You cannot make a deal with the devil and think that it's going to be fair. If you put your soul on the line, you will put others on the line.
Ritual human sacrifice has been happening for thousands of years. Ancient cultures like the Aztecs and Mayans believed that offering up their fellow man and women was a way to strengthen and appease the gods. But how much real evidence is there that human sacrifice is actually occurring today? Is this true crime or overactive imagination? Ted Gunderson was one of the top field agents in the FBI and former chief of the Los Angeles office. He says human sacrifice is real, and he believes satanic cults are responsible. He travels the country lecturing about the dangers of Satanism.
People have heard about the satanic movement and they're curious. They don't know about ritual ceremonies. They don't know about human sacrifices.
Las Vegas shooting eyewitness turns up dead days after posting her highly detailed account of the massacre on Facebook, claiming 100% more than one shooter. A woman by the name of Kimberly Suckamel, 28, who attended the October 1st Route 91 Harvest Music Festival, passed away Monday at her Apple Valley home just days after she had survived the deadliest mass shooting in modern United States history unscathed, reports say. Suckamel, who posted her eyewitness account of the Las Vegas massacre in astonishingly vivid detail to her Facebook page on October 4th, subsequently died in her sleep sometime during the night of the 8th, from what reports are claiming natural causes. Shockingly, just days before her death, Suckamel posted key details about the shooting to Facebook, contradicting the official narrative that Stephen Paddock is a lone gunman. From about 50 feet in front of us and a little to the right, firecrackers were set off. Let me repeat that. Firecrackers were set off. I verbally stated, some asshole just shot off firecrackers in close proximity to so many people. I was literally pissed off. You could see Jason Aldean look to his left kind of startled by it, but he was also clearly irritated. I would say about 15 seconds later, the first volley of gunfire was released. She went on. It was a shorter volley than any of the others, and the gunfire was not as close together either. Everyone looked up, down, around. We thought it was more firecrackers at first, but then Ricky reached over, told us all to put our boots on quickly, and the volley ended. Then people started to panic. The gentleman behind me looked at me as I was putting on my boots, half laying down, and said, "Calm down, crazy, it's just fireworks, geez." This is when the second volley went off. Ricky yelled at us all to get down, flat, and we immediately knew there was someone shooting at us. I remember getting down, but I didn't lay flat for some reason, thinking, oh my gosh, I need to get flatter than I am now, but my body just wouldn't let me. That was the second volley. At the end of that volley, I'm still trying to get my boots on, we turned and tried to run, but the people behind us still weren't moving. I yelled at the lady, "Run! It's gunfire! Run!" According to Suckamel, the shooting was close. When the third volley hit, and it was close, very, very close to us, I could physically see the impact of the bullets on the AstroTurf. I could feel the warmth and the passing of bullets. Once the third volley was over, Casey linked her arm into mine, and we decided at that moment we weren't stopping. We were getting the hell out of there. And I do mean hell. We were in literal hell. The gentleman that mocked me, stating it was fireworks, fell to the ground, and he never got back up. The lady behind me, who was now in front of me, who was terrified as I told her to run, never got back up. I actually had to physically step over her body to run. Something I'm still struggling with, so please don't attack me. I was absolutely in flight or fight mode. There was another person to my right who also wasn't moving. We ran. I don't know what direction we ran. I don't know toward which landmark we ran. We just ran. It was at this time our group got split up. Casey and I were together. Ricky, Casey, and Mindy were together. Soon after, according to her account, Suckamel started to panic when she realized 100% that there was more than one shooter and that multiple gunmen were in the crowd. We were rounding some sort of corner maybe, and I looked to the right and I saw this large cowboy standing down with his legs spread, holding a blood-soaked woman. I thought to myself, we need to hide. But as I looked quickly for somewhere to go, the gunfire once again got closer and closer. We couldn't hide because they, and I do mean they, were chasing us. That exact moment is when I started to really panic. That is the exact moment in which I thought, this was it, I'm going to die. I was never going to see my family again. So, as we're running, we approached this fence where men are throwing women over, and we ran up to it as they had knocked it down, so we were able to get out. As we crossed the threshold of the venue, my mind went straight to other mass shootings, and hearing the victims' families in my head talk about how they never got to say goodbye. I did not want this for my husband, who was at work, and my grandma, who had my daughter Scarlett. So at 10:07 p.m., I called my husband frantically, leaving him a voicemail telling him that I loved him and that I was in the middle of a shooting and I wasn't sure if I would make it out alive, she explained. Next, while still running, I called my grandma to tell her the exact same thing. But the gunfire wasn't stopping this whole time. It wasn't ceasing. It wasn't slowing down, and it was directly behind us, following us. Bullets were coming from every direction, behind us, in front of us, to the side of us. But I just know that there was someone chasing us. The entire time I felt this way, she explained. The farther we got from the venue, the closer the gunfire got. I kept looking back, expecting to see gunmen. And I say men because there was more than this one guy firing, 100% more than one. As we were running, we kept changing direction because it felt like no matter what direction we took, we were being followed. So we ended up running in a weird triangular path. The first place I remember getting to was a parking lot, and I told Casey, who was slightly in front of me, we needed to get under one of the trucks. She turned to me and started her way back to me, and that's when the gunfire got even closer than ever before. It was right there. It was within the parking lot. Everyone around us was panicking once again, so we ditched the idea of getting underneath a vehicle and we continued the run for our lives. If you know me, you know I'm a big girl who's out of shape and who definitely does not run for any reason, but I can tell you, I ran like I have never run before, she wrote. The second place I remember going by was Hooters, which is where we met back up with the rest of our small group. We ran toward the entrance thinking we could take cover there, but as we got closer, a stampede of people ran out, terrified. We could only conclude that there was another gunman inside of the hotel. This made us even more scared. We had nowhere to go, no one to trust. At some point, we ended up at the airport and even entered the building for safety. Everyone, as we entered, were screaming at the staff, "Is it safe in here?" But we weren't getting anyone to answer us, so after running about 30 feet into the building, not getting the answers we so desperately needed, we decided it too wasn't a safe spot, so we got out of there quickly and continued running. After all this running, we were tired, sore, and having to stop to cough, gag, and even vomit. We ran across an intersection, and us and another group of people pleaded with a limo driver to let us in and get us out of there. He was clearly confused and didn't understand what was going on, so he didn't let us in. Next, we ran to a taxi van, and she was willing to let us in, but she told us her van only held 4 people, and she wasn't going to let the 5 of us in, so we said screw it and continued running. At one point, we ran past a small liquor store where they so graciously gave us some water bottles. We passed the University of Las Vegas as well. Additionally, the eyewitness reported that she was running with her group alongside Tropicana Avenue when a dark-colored SUV slowed and a smaller Hispanic woman emerged from the window to taunt her group. She leans out of the window and she yells something we couldn't understand in a clearly taunting manner. It really freaked us out because, again, we didn't know who we could and couldn't trust, the eyewitness explained. Could this smaller Hispanic woman have been the same short Hispanic lady reported by another witness to have threatened concert goers 30 to 45 minutes before the shooting started? 8 days later, Succumo was found dead in her bed by her grandmother.
TV.